These videos are very difficult to make. I have to be very transparent and very vulnerable. But through doing that, if I could just make one person more comfortable in their skin or potentially save someone's life, it's worth it. I went through a lot of abuse and trauma, including SA, when I was younger, and it made me have to embrace pain and discomfort and chaos, lest I just be swept away into the abyss. And unfortunately, those coping habits that I had younger translated into very bad SH issues later in life. And as you can see, I'm covered in scars, especially the deep ones in my chest. Luckily, my legs are super, super white, so a lot of the scars on my legs are not as visible anymore. But that being said, it's very important to not only want to get better, but being willing to let the people around you know that you're struggling. When I went through the worst of this, I always had a fake smile on my face. I would always tell people, "Oh, I'm fine, I'm good." And even as it progressed into getting very close to ending my life, I pretended like it wasn't there. And like I said, I had a smile on my face. And that's why it's very important to check in with your friends. And sometimes you have to push it a little bit. You don't want to scare them, you don't want to overwhelm them, but it's important to find out how they're actually feeling. And sometimes that can be very hard. One thing that has been very important to me, which is why I gravitated towards the gym, is eat not in a nihilistic way, but you have to understand that those traits don't just go away, they stay a part of you. You just get better at dealing with them. You get better about replacement therapy and replacing the stimulus with something more productive. There's a lot of different ways you can do it. You know, one thing I can recommend to you when you're having a really bad episode and you think that's coming on, and it sounds kind of goofy, but you can take ice and you can squeeze ice really, really hard. And it's not comfortable and it kind of hurts, but it helps wash those feelings away from you and satiate that part of you that, like I said, never goes away. And it can disappear for a while, and then one day it can just come back with overwhelming force. So that's why it's important to have things in your life that are pretty hardcore stimulus, that are outside of the realm of alcohol and drugs, and that's very important. Alcohol in particular, if you have, I'm not anti-alcohol, it's just not for me, but if you have SH tendencies, alcohol can make you more nihilistic in your head and just follow through with things that normally you wouldn't follow through with. And I've lost a lot of people that have followed through under the influence, and they're no longer with us. And I think about them. I think I think about them every day, and I'm very grateful that I'm still here. But the struggle never goes away, and you can never stop the fight. So make sure you're being honest with the people around you. I believe in you. If you have these types of issues, my DMs are always open. I'm not going to have all the answers, but I've got lots of perspective. And if you reaching out and getting some input is something that could save your life, please do it. Please do it. The people around you would much rather be at your next birthday party than your funeral. And once again, you need to know that you're not alone. And that's why I push so hard. This is embarrassing. This is hard to talk about. It hurts me deep into my core. But I kept it hidden for so long that, like I said, it almost cost me my life. So there's a lot of steps that you can take. and you need to look into them. And like I said, if I can overcome this and figure out how to deal with these demons, I know you can too. Like I said, in some ways, I'm a very small, weak person, but I'm also very hard headed, and I refuse to be taken down by my mental illness. So, once again, you're not alone, you're loved, and we can get through this.